How you doing?
What's up, Mark? Hold up, let me mute you on my TV
What's
real
going
quick.
on?
What's going on, fellas?
How you feeling?
What's up, man?
I'm pretty good, man. What's up? I used to be a broker. I first started off with Final Mile,
Mm,
just working on like a FedEx contract, just like as an actual driver.
mm,
Bought a 26 foot. I was a broker after that for like
okay.
3 years. Then after that, I bought a 26 footer, and I've been running that for 3 months now.
Mm.
Pretty good in my experience. I mean, like we've been doing better every single month. This month we hit 20,600 on 9,300 miles. So we're doing over $2 a mile in our truck on a new authority. But this is all about just staying in the right area, booking up partials, bro, and then keeping the truck in the right spot. I mean, we're not going anywhere outside of where we're supposed to be going.
See, you come from a broker background, so in
Exactly.
comparison to a lot of people who have no experience in logistics, period, you kind of know how to move your truck coming from a broker background,
That and
and
yep,
and you
go
have
ahead.
relationships, and you have relationships.
Exactly, bro. I would highly recommend anybody who's looking in the industry, bro, even if it's going and being a track and tracer for 6 months at a brokerage. You'll learn more at a brokerage, bro. Just in like you get a quick bag in there. I mean, I was doing good in the brokerage, bro. I was making a little over 6 figures running an account, but still like you're spending all day in the desk. So for me, it was getting out. I don't drive the truck. I have one of my friends in
Mm,
the truck, so like I'm still at home every day. I'm at home right now.
mm. Well, you playing a game or something?
Now I'm sitting here looking at my numbers, bro. Sorry, I'm at the computer. I was just
He's
getting
a
a spreadsheet.
broker. He's a broker, Mark. What
Oh,
you-
well, he's he clicking. I'm like, what is he clicking,
he's
man?
still he, he's still addicted to that
Oh,
broker
yeah,
stuff.
my first time on live. I'm a
You
little
know?
nervous. To be honest with you,
Don't be nervous. I
Yeah.
know Kirk. I
You
know
know?
Kirk want to dig into you because he loved digging
Kirk.
Oh
into
yeah.
brokers.
Oh yeah.
So
His
to get
brokers
all the
are
dirty
criminals,
secrets,
man.
get all the dirty
You know?
secrets out of him, Kirk. Here you
Eh,
go. Have
Just
fun.
just just let it out before we get it out, man. Just tell us all the dirtiness that you know.
Dude, I'll tell you what, man.
Let me ask you a question. How long you been a broker before you decided to
So I
start
was
your own business?
so in 2017, I played college baseball, and it was during COVID. So I mean, they sent me home from school in the middle of March, right? One of my boys had 220. We were renting out Sprinter vans from Penske at the time, and we were getting good rates because there were so many trucks sitting during COVID. It was like, I mean, they were like begging us to damn near take them. At Indianapolis. I'm from Indy, so we're running like
Mm,
two at Indianapolis. Me and my buddy were originally, and they're paying us like at the time this FedEx contract was paying us pretty close, anywhere between $800 and $1,000 a day per truck, and we're doing like 150 stops, or not 150 stops, probably between 60 to 90 stops for FedEx, and then like drivers were getting paid $300 a day, and they're paying their own fuel, getting hired in contractors. At the time was going on. Right now, you can't do that because that's not an independent contractor technically, because you're putting them in your own trucks. Uh,
mm,
but we were originally running that, making a bag. FedEx doesn't have enough people, bro. So they're like, hey, can you guys rent out 15 more trucks and send them down to Cincinnati? Sure, send them down to Cincinnati, bag in Cincinnati. Hey, can you go up to Saginaw, Michigan? We need 10 more trucks up there. So we're sending like at a point we got like 150 trucks moving all throughout the Midwest, like Milwaukee, even as far out as Vermont. We're riding on through the Alps of Vermont, bro. And they were asking for 26 footers too, because they had bulk, like big refrigerator type stuff that couldn't fit
mm,
in the sprinter. So we're pretty much running lift gates on there. That's where I kind of saw the first 26 footer. But then I saw a lot of my freight that I was brokering get turned
mm.
into it turned into 53 foot, 40,000 pound loads, and a lot of like 10,000 pound loads, 8,000 pound loads that were 8 pallets. And I was like, damn, well, I'm seeing, good money. I'm getting paid the same amount of money to put it on a 26 footer as a broker than I am to put it on the 53. So I was like, I know there's money getting paid on these 26-foot loads. It's just you got to find it. And that was kind of my thought process behind getting a truck. But I also
Mhm,
knew kind of partialing what I wanted to do with partials. I mean,
mhm,
there are a lot of days we're moving over $3 a mile to an area, and then we'll go to the Northeast for like I like going to Chicago, Milwaukee, and then going straight over to Pennsylvania, Jersey, and then trying to move as close to $3 a mile to the Northeast, and then as close to $2 a mile back. But more importantly, just getting efficient picks and drops. I'm not really worrying about the extra $500 if it means waiting an extra day uh, sitting around in New Jersey. I'd rather just get another load going back to Illinois so we can get bagged up for the weekend or whatever it is. but my driver's home every weekend.
Somebody wants to know
Okay.
what percentage of what percentage brokers taking from what percentage does brokers take from the loads?
I would say, I
That's
mean,
what he's
I'll be
asking.
honest with you. When I was running my account, we were doing a little over $45,000 a month in margin, and that was on
Mm-hmm.
about a 13% profit margin as my personal account in the brokerage. I mean, it depends how
Mm-hmm.
big of the brokerage you get. You got a lot of mom and pop shop brokerages, dad and a
Mm-hmm.
daughter working there, just a 2-man crew. They're probably
Mm-hmm.
making 6 to 8%. I don't think the broker pay is what everybody thinks it is. They're not getting paid, they're not making $1,000 a load. A lot of times it's $200-300 a load. Um, it does that. It adds up if you got 25 loads on board that day as a broker. It makes sense as a broker. I'm definitely going to be looking into starting on my own brokerage eventually, to be honest with you, just
Mm-hmm.
because it's a lot easier to be able to broker out freight than it is to have an asset base and take everybody's freight like that.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying that brokers are not getting the kind of money that they're getting, that we think they're getting.
In my opinion, I mean, just from what I see the
So
public, I
let
feel like
so so let me ask you a question. If you guys post a load for $1,500, why does that load jump from 15 to 17, and then jump from 17 to 21, and then from 21 to 25? Where all that money come from?
I'm not saying that. I'll be honest with you. There are a lot of times brokerages lose on loads. I mean, as a broker, you get there at the end of the day. Let's just say you have a 3 p.m. pickup, right? And you're sitting there tracking tracing on your guy all day. All of a sudden, it's 1 p.m. and he falls off. Say you got to pick up, 50 miles out in the middle of nowhere in Kentucky. At that point, you're looking to get You're looking to get any truck there for the price. It doesn't matter. That's why later in the day, a good dispatcher is going to be a little more patient with it. You know what I'm saying? If you have all your trucks booked up by 9 a.m. on the spot board in the morning, you're probably not dispatching to your max extent. And that's just my personal experience. I used to lose on loads every day, brother. One of my main lanes, I was going from Maine, Hollis Center, Maine, and Poland, Maine, going down to the island of New York. So, I mean, all the way from Riverhead to the end, all the way just the Bronx, Queens, everything. There are days where I'd have 15 loads like that going from Maine to New York, and we'd have 12 of them booked at 4 p.m. and there's 5 trucks left in Maine, so you're losing $1,000 a load. But you made $400 on the other 11 or 12. So I mean, it's
So
all
let me
about
ask.
it. You go ahead.
Sorry, sorry. So let me ask you this: were you getting paid based off the commission off the load, or like a percentage off the load
Yeah, no, I was getting paid off a
before
percentage.
before be, like so when the load was built, when the load is built, right?
Yes, sir.
And your account manager presented to you and said, "Look, this load paid $1,200. Go sell it for $800." If
Right.
you sell it for $800, you get a percentage off the 800,
400 no margin. Yes, sir.
off the 400, or do
Exactly.
you? Okay, okay. So let
And
me
I'm
ask you this, right?
pretty close. And a brokerage, I would say anywhere is between like I've seen it as low as 5% all the way up to 20%. 20% is going to be more like the small, small companies, startups, less employees, more responsibilities, and like as a broker. But like I couldn't imagine what TQL is probably not paying their dudes too much.
Okay. So let me ask you this, right? When you got a box truck driver that
Yes,
calls
sir.
you, and he doesn't know his cost per mile, and he doesn't know what, like, he's a fresh guy, and you got a load that your account manager gave you for $800, do you try to sell him for less, or you still try to get him for that 800?
I mean, to be honest, when I was doing that, I wasn't really. All my freight. I was with a pretty strict customer. I was working with Albertsons grocery stores. So I'll just give it 100. And they're all dedicated freight. I mean, it's not. It's one of those things where if they catch you with anything else in the truck, you're probably getting blackballed. So I wasn't dedicating any freight. So I was still paying pretty respectable. Always over $1.50 mile to box trucks.
Okay.
But I was doing a lot of 53-foot stuff and a lot of reefer stuff. And a lot of that stuff was kind of the stuff where I was keeping the same truck on it because I was a service guy. I like making sure, I feel like as a broker, service is more important because, you get that load on time every single day of the week. They're going to call you when they need a load done on Friday. And that's the same thing with box trucks, bro. I mean, the amount of brokers that call me, not in, I'm sure you guys have had the same experiences because you guys are, good dudes in trucking. I get brokers calling me every week asking me if I can take loads. And a lot of time it's just, I'm running onto one box truck. I independently dispatch 2 other companies. So I usually just don't have a truck where they need me to be. But I mean, TQL's been calling me. I have a truck that stays local on Amazon Relay. But TQL called me and asked me if I can do a Indianapolis to St. Louis 310 miles round trip, or 310 miles back and forth, $1,500. I mean, we're getting over $2 a mile on that. You find out where you can get it, but I feel like just staying in the game, just doing the right thing all the time. Eventually, you're going to have all the stars will align where that truck can be booked all the time.
Right. So let me ask you this: is dedicated rate different from a rate that is not dedicated?
Well, I mean, dedicated is in the sense like they're going to pay you to not have anything else on the truck with it. So I mean, like, let's
But
just
it's
say like,
more money, right?
yeah, it's going to be more money. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's what I'm saying. Why do you guys always want truckers to take the freight for the same for the you'll sell the same load for $800 yesterday, and then tomorrow you got a dedicated freight that you want to sell for the same price, and then you want to seal the truck, and then you want
No,
us to be there tomorrow.
look, dude, I'm not saying, and there's a reason I'm not a broker anymore, right? Because I honestly felt like I was on the bad side of logistics. I don't want to be sitting there arguing with truck drivers every single morning. That's kind of why I'm on this side I'm on now. But I can tell you from our experience, it's business, brother. If you had the choice to make $400 or $600 a day, how would you choose 4 or 6?
Six.
And exactly.
It's cutthroat,
That's
Kirk.
so it's like put
No,
stuff on the board.
I get what he's saying, but the thing, what I'm like you just said, Mark. Over the years, nothing changed but the price, and you know the reason why we really have to sit down and talk about carriers and brokers. And I know you used to be what company you used to work for, by the way,
I
if
used to
you
work
don't
with a small
mind.
Indianapolis. It's called R2X.
Okay,
Uh,
so you used to work for that company. So everybody has this in office, you know, thing that they go on, and you get what I'm saying. And I guess maybe you don't want to be a part of that no more because of your conscience or whatever. You get what I'm
okay.
saying?
Yeah,
Um, People have you guys as the number one liar. Like we don't believe nothing you say when we call you. You get what I'm
dude.
saying? You all
Absolutely.
sound the same. I did a broker call today. Mark can tell you. I did it on my live, and people just 9,000 pounds, six. That's the only thing I got in it. And I'm looking at this guy, and I'm like, okay, you're looking at a computer, and it says $1,500, but you here telling me you got $1,200 in it. You get what I'm saying? And then I said, give me an extra $100. No, I can't. The $50 is the best I can do. You
Oh,
get what
dude,
I'm saying?
there's no doubt how greedy the brokers are. I mean, absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, that's why getting direct shipper contacts, it's very doable for anybody who actually knows what they're doing in trucking, can come with a presentable business plan. To like, how can I give you a solution? How can I be a solution provider for you and what you need to ship out, instead of just walking up and saying, hey, I've got a 26-foot box truck. But I mean, the brokers, the real problem is, bro, is they're, instead of, I would say 2-3 years ago there were 5-10 brokers they're working with. Let's just say like Target, right? Target has working with 5 to 10 brokers in their supply chain, their team, right? Now they got 50-60 on there on an open bid where everybody can see each other's price. So let's just say, you got 50 companies, right, all bidding against each other on Chicago to Indiana, right? And it starts off, they post it up and they want it to be as close to $800 as they can to start. Let's just say, for instance. Then a company bids 750, and then everybody can see their 750 bid. So then somebody bids 700, and they can see that 700 bid. So then they go 675. So I mean, I can tell you, I can 100% promise you that the rates the brokers are getting are not the same as they used to be. That was a big reason I left, because I could see, okay, this is going to be a lot different every year. And this was in January of this year when the RFP awards started for my account and a lot of other accounts.
Mhm.
Rates flip big time for brokers. Just, I mean, not as much as drivers, because obviously, we're the ones out here doing the work. We're the ones putting fuel in the truck. I mean, I don't even think the brokers are paying insurance, to be honest with you. Maybe for the office, but not big time stuff. Zero expenses on the broker side, very little, except for the bond. Uh, but I mean, brokers are definitely hurting, I
Right,
would say, just as well.
That answered your question from this morning, Kirk, where you said everybody sounded angry. All those
right,
calls you made,
yeah,
Kirk.
right. And this morning when we made the call, a lot of guys was just angry, and I was very polite. I take the phone. I said, "Good morning, sir. Good. How you doing? Looking at this load, and Yeah, what's the MC number? Give the MC number. Yeah, it's 6 pallets and it's going here to Miami and it's got to deliver by Thursday at 8 o'clock and we can't move the appointment and it's like this. It's like bitterness. There's an attitude issue. There's anger. Somebody
The
said in
thing,
the comment section why they don't just quit and go get a regular mom and papa job like this. It's it's
dude,
like you can hear it.
tell me if I'm not sure, Mark. I don't think you work on the load board very much, but
Mm-mm.
tell me if you think I'm wrong. I'm hearing a lot of kids fresh out of college brokering freight nowadays.
Mhm.
A lot of
Mhm.
because I can tell you what, and I'm saying this in the most humble way possible. I'm walking in there, and almost every single broker I talk to, I'm probably better at their job than them. Because they can't even tell me a pallet count, they can't tell me a product, and I get sometimes they're not trying to, but sometimes you can tell they don't actually know what's going on. Okay,
Being a
what kind?
being a freight broker now, fresh out of college, is like back in the day getting a sales job fresh out of college.
Yeah, going and selling cars. Like
Mhm.
Yeah.
everybody
Right.
do it. You put a little bit of money on logistics, but same stuff, bro. TikTok, social media, people all hear there's money in trucking, but I mean, you go buy yourself a truck and don't have a plan, you're probably in for a little bit of trouble.
Yep.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a
Yeah.
question. As when you was a broker, right?
Yep.
How many time have you left a truck at a truck stop for the weekend?
Well, as a broker, I mean, you're doing one load. Oh, you mean like telling them a delivery appointment's on a Friday and it's not till Monday?
No, not only that, but you like they'll have an appointment that just gonna leave them at a truck stop for the weekend.
I guess I'm not. Are you talking about like? Are you referring to maybe like lying about a delivery appointment?
Sometimes you guys lie about it. Sometimes
Yeah,
you just the
trust me, dude.
time
I've
that you know what I mean. Like
yeah,
whatever
and
you do, they end up at a truck stop for the weekend, and you pack up with your girl, and you in Miami. That sort of stuff. See,
I
you
can
see,
tell you
Mark,
where
all of them lie. Mark, Mark, Mark.
yeah,
I the line this morning when I asked the guy about Miami. What did he do? He laughed. I
He
keep
started
telling you,
laughing.
all these guys go to Miami. You get what I'm saying?
dude. I'm telling
Hey,
you,
man.
I think that's kind of the thing. The brokers aren't driving around in G wagons. I mean, trust me, dude. I know a lot of brokers at 40K, and there's nothing wrong with working a hard job every day, 8 to 5. I'm just saying, a lot of the brokers aren't, especially the ones you're talking to booking loads with. Those aren't the guys making the bags. Those are the guys taking orders from the dudes making the bags. Very rarely
Uh-huh.
you like a small shop, but like a TQL dude you're talking to in the morning, he's in there. He got in there 2 weeks ago and he's out of there in 2 weeks. Simple as that.
Right.
I told you, Kirk. I told you this morning. I said, man, they ain't making no money. That's why they frustrated.
They're not making any money, brother. I'll be
I
honest with you. The
told you.
broker, it's like a bunch of my friends still work there. Like it's like from my hometown. Like one of my buddies, his brother owned the company. So I'm still friends with all the buddies in there, and every single one of those dudes is seeing what we're doing in the truck, and they're like, "Man, I got to get out of the desk because the brokering is just not it right now." But I mean, the customers are tightening down. The requirements are going up for carriers, brokers, everybody. I mean, it's definitely not getting easier for them. And I feel like a lot of these dudes came in the game in COVID, and it's just never going to be as sweet as it used to be.
What about
Right.
peak season? We're gonna see a peak season this year?
I mean, I've already I feel like over the past month, I've seen a little increase in the rates, but I think it might continue up a little bit. But I mean, I'm content with how the rates. I mean, obviously, I do want them to be better, but if you're
I'm
planning
talking about
right,
volume. I'm talking about volume.
volume. I mean,
When were
dude,
you a broker? When were you a broker? When were you a broker?
I
What
was a
years?
8 months ago,
Hey, how long were you a broker?
about 2.5 years.
So you weren't a broker prior to the pandemic then?
No, sir. When I was in the pandemic, right before it broke out, I was running final mile in the Sprinter vans all throughout, just a driver, and I was managing a hub of about 15 trucks, handing out manifests, making sure they're getting loaded up, and then waiting for them to get back.
Okay. What company was that when you were
That was
Final Mile?
Rushman Logistics. We were based out of Indianapolis.
Okay. All right. Now the reason I was asking you because normally now it would be really, really busy for trucking for a holiday season. For
the Sprinter
holiday
van?
season. For just trucking
Right.
period. The volume would be really, really high right now.
For sure. I mean, I feel like the volume, I guess in the areas I'm hanging out, I never really have had a problem getting loads. or I guess like I'm pretty much just going to the Northeast, Philadelphia, New Jersey.
I'm just saying, in general, like the country would be on fire. Volume would just be ridiculous because this is all the volume that would be getting moved to the retail stores and getting ready for the holiday season. But, you know, volume is considerably down in comparison to what holiday season would used to. I mean, you figure Black Friday is a month away.
Dude, for sure.
Stuff has to get to where it needs to be so that it could people could take it off the shelf. You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely.
I didn't know if you were, you know, had some years of experience as brokering prior to the pandemic.
I think the volume's definitely down, but I mean, I think there's a lot more trucks that are starting to realize that they need to get direct shippers, so maybe people aren't seeing it as much. Or like maybe the spot boards aren't as heated up because more people are getting the freight directly from the shippers, and it's just not even getting to the bottom of the barrel. But definitely there's a decrease in freight. It's not what it was last year, and it's definitely not what it was 2 years ago. But I mean, I still think it will go up from what it was 6 months ago. What it is right now, I still think we'll see obviously the increase.
In rates or in volume?
Huh?
In rates or in volume?
That's what I mean. Rates are obviously truck to load ratio. Right, you want to go to the place where there's not any trucks and there's more loads, because then they're calling you because it's your truck or no truck. And the other thing I feel like a lot of truckers should realize is these brokers, their customers are pretty strict, right? So at the end of the day, it gets 4 p.m. That broker's getting yelled at by the customer if this load doesn't get picked up today, and they're getting yelled at by their manager, which is obviously not what they want going on. So if you can get them at 4 o'clock in the afternoon when they're about to leave the office, you can get some late day steals. That's just from my personal experience as a broker and dispatcher.
When do you think or do you think this is the new norm, or do you think the industry, logistics industry, is going to turn around? And if you think so, when?
I think if you can make money now in the truck, you can make money forever in the truck. I mean, if it gets worse than this, I don't think it will get much worse. I don't think it can get much worse, to be honest with you. I say that, but I would say way through next year, I think the election is going to be one of those things where the election is going to go a long way, and the election is going to be a big thing deciding if what I do with my fleet. Are we looking for more trucks? Or are we another 4 years of sustaining? And I'm not really sure if we're doing that. I mean, we're still building, but we could definitely be building a lot quicker with some better stuff in line. I would say halfway through next year. I mean, did you guys probably saw that articles from Freight Waves? I think they kind of hit it right on the head, where it's, I think next year halfway through. But I mean, the amount of new fleets that have been brought in over the past year, 2 years, it's like 10 times as many that were coming in per month that were 2 years ago.
Yeah, so, but I mean, a lot of those guys have gone out too.
That's what I'm saying, brother. I'm waiting for these dudes to post their trucks on Facebook Marketplace for $20,000 off.
They've been posting them. I've been seeing them up there.
I see them at my time, because right now I'm kind of looking for another driver for myself, and I'm not sure if I'm willing to hop in the truck myself yet, and I'm lazy for it, but I just don't want to be booking up 4 trucks in the truck while driving.
I think we're gonna go through another exodus probably in December, January, similar to the one we had around that time last year going into this year. Obviously, leading up to the election, there's a lot of FUD. I think if Trump gets in, then I think people will be willing to spend money. People that have money will be willing to spend it. If Biden gets back in, then I
hate to say it, but I think we might have bigger problems at that point, Mark.
Yeah. And then that's and go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, and that's exactly how I feel. I mean, if Trump's back in office, and we got a little bit of momentum, I feel like behind blue collar work, I'm all in, bro, because I love the blue collar work. I love hanging out with the blue collar truck drivers, because I mean, these are the dudes that I feel like deserve to get the bag. And I mean, the bag's here. The bag's in trucking. I feel like you guys know that, and I'm probably not leaving trucking the rest of my life, to be honest with you. I love it.
Okay. All right.
That's cool, man.
Cool, man. Well, I appreciate you having me on, man.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks a lot, man.
Peace.